Good evening, everyone. It is now 6 p.m. and welcome to the, community development meeting, committee meeting. I'm the chair, Louis Washington. Today's meeting is being recorded and will be available on the city's website. Thank you for joining us. As I previously mentioned, I'm logging in remotely, and thank you very much for your flexibility today and allowing me to do so. We'll start with a roll call. I see Councilmember Wadden who's present. Looks like we have City Clerk Dean available. Madam Mayor is there. Do we have the City Administrator?
Yep.
Okay, City Administrator Chambliss. And do we have the City Attorney Burke there?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Looks like we have a full house. We are missing Councilmember Johnson. I had a conversation with him this weekend. He is enjoying some time off with his wonderful family down in Disneyland. So I'm prepared to give him an excused absence unless there's any discussion there.
I concur.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we'll excuse Councilmember Johnson. So we now move to our first item of regular business to approve the agenda. Are there any questions regarding the agenda this evening? Okay, sounds good. Agenda approved. The next item is public comment. At this time, we will provide time for residents to provide public comment. Not being there at City Hall, I can't see if there's anyone there actually available and ready to have public comment. Is there anyone there in the council chambers?
There's only staff and council chambers.
Okay. So I'm going to assume at this time we have no public comment. Okay, so we now move to our next agenda item, which is the approval of the minutes dated, I believe, June 2nd, 2025. Are there any questions regarding the minutes from our last committee meeting?
None from me.
Okay. Anything from Madam Mayor or staff or staff?
Nothing for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll approve the meeting minutes. And next item on the agenda is historic downtown color palettes. And so at this point in time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our director.
Thank you, Chair Washington, and good evening, everyone. I'm Mona Davis, your Community Development Director. And tonight we have on the agenda the Historic Downtown Color Palette Resolution. And so I'll just kind of run through and give a little background on this. I did put a memo in your packet this evening that goes into more detail and runs through the process that we went through. The Community Development Department started this back in February. We took this to the Planning Commission and introduced the issue with the colors because we were hearing from our downtown businesses, our downtown merchants that, they didn't have much to work with. It was basically like beige, tan, and blah. And they wanted to have more options, and they wanted to have more options that would allow them to use their creativity and have the downtown look a little more vibrant without having to come in and go through the design review board to request a variance to those color palettes, which added more time and expense to their small businesses, which was kind of hurting their startup costs. So we brought this to the Planning Commission, and we had four subsequent meetings after February 3rd with a public hearing on May 19th. On May 5th, though, I should say that we did have the King County Historic Preservation group come and just give an overview to the Planning Commission, and it was a really good discussion. And then we came back on the 19th with recommended colors for the hearing or for the Planning Commission to consider. So as outlined in both my staff memo and the resolution, the Snoqualmie Municipal Code required or does require historical design review for the city's historic district overlay zones, as well as the commercial landmark district and individual designated landmarks. And it also requires historic design review board to establish an approved color palette to be used during historical design review. And we heard from our business owners that the existing approved color palette only provided 4 color combinations, which gave them a total of 20 colors, but they were very limited on their ability to pick between the colors. And it was just creating a lot of angst with our businesses. So, after having several meetings and going back and forth and hearing a lot of public comments and even taking in color chips from many of our business owners and that came in and provided comments, we came up with a color palette that everybody unanimously agreed upon. There were some additional regulations that we added that just for more of a clarity, and those are on the back page of your packet, page 14 as part of Exhibit A. And that just basically, like I said, was to add clarity so that people knew that if they did a dark color base, that they should do a light color trim, or that they shouldn't paint their building something that would be contrasting to the neighbor's existing business. And we also talked in there about not painting factory colors of stone and brick. And so we just really tried to give a little more clarity to what kind of colors should be used. And so this provided the business owners the proposed exterior and interior, or exterior base and trim colors, gives the business owners quite a bit more for creativity. And it also added in a few kind of pastel colors and just, but then avoided the bright colors. And so the Historic Preservation Board had actually recommended that, and we did get a public comment recommending that we did not adopt any colors, but the planning commissioners were a little put off by that, and they felt like they didn't really want to just have a free-for-all out there to where we didn't know what our downtown going through Railroad was going to look like. And so it was agreed upon that we could use pastels, but they were a relatively muted pastel. But then the bright colors, they were not on board with having the building or the trim painted the bright colors. So I think we've done a really good job at representing, what was discussed there, and we got unanimous approval from the Planning Commission on May 19th to bring this forward to the council committee and hopefully take it to council next week on July 14th. So I'm happy to answer any specific questions that you may have about the process.
That would be me.
So, please proceed.
Thank you, Councilmember Washington. First of all, I want to commend our volunteers. This was a collaboration between both the Planning Commission and the Community Development Roundtable we held here in this chamber. And business owners were concerned about this lack of variety and trying to make sure that their businesses stand out. And I'm very, very impressed with the process. And I wholeheartedly support this and moving it on to the council. And I'd like to see this as a full presentation to the council, so there's that transparency for those that express concern. I've got one question. In just going through this, there are red X's and a lot of green check marks. Could you help me understand what the color coding is?
Yes, so if you look on the chart, so the basic building shell, it gives you different color schemes under the different like browns, grays, and neutrals. Would have a green check mark means that they could use any of these colors as as either the basic building shell or as an accent color. But they couldn't, we've also had a condition on the back page that says that you should use a contrasting color. So you shouldn't pick the same color for your trim and your base color. Where you see the red X, that means that extremely dark colors, for example, would not be allowed as a basic building shell color. But you could use an extremely dark color as a trim or accent color. Same with pastels. The planning commissioners agreed that they didn't really want to see the building shell be a pastel color, but they were fine with it being a trim or an accent color.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm a
And
little
thank
bit
you.
sleepy.
Yeah, no,
too,
I get
so-
it. And thank you for reminding me too, that this all kind of started with the Economic Development Commission and talking with the business owners about things that would help them in their business. And colors was a huge part of that conversation.
Thank you much, Director
You're welcome.
Davis.
Are there other comments there? Before I make a comment, I wanted to give everyone a chance to make a comment. Any comments from Madam Mayor or either staff?
Yes, I just want to commend Community Development and Planning Commission and EDC for stepping up and coming up with a different color palette, which is nice because we did hear lots of comments about there was hardly any selection to pick from, and these would be great colors and add a little more depth and interest to the buildings downtown. So thank you.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo the same comments. This was a collaborative effort, Director Davis, I know you and I have had behind the scenes conversation on this, and this has been something, priority that we've been trying to, get pushed through the committee and get eyes on it at the council level. So congratulations on being able to achieve that. I like the palette. We talked about it. I like it. I'm a lot of different choices now to choose from. I also like the exception that's been put in under the regulations. I'll just read it. If a historic color is found to have been used on an individual Snoqualmie landmark or a contributing building within the landmark district through the use of laboratory testing, this color shall be permitted in a similar manner. So that is the one exception, and I think that's a very wise exception to have in this resolution. So I'm excited. Great collaborative effort. I agree with Councilmember Wadden. I think if we can have a presentation, this is a resolution, so unfortunately it can't go on a consent agenda, my understanding. So yeah, we probably do want to have a presentation ready next week for the council.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm happy to give a more formal presentation at the council.
Sounds good. So yeah, let's move it forward and have it on the council agenda for the 14th, next Monday.
Okay, great, thank you.
Well
Okay.
done.
Great job. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't see any other items on the agenda. Were there other items on the agenda that I may be missing?
No,
Okay, thank you. So that with there being no further business to come before this committee, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
concurrent.
Okay. Well, we are adjourned at 6:15.